Good evening. This is CTV News for Tuesday, December 20th. I'm Patricia Malone and glad to have you with us tonight. Well, a hearing on fracking takes place this morning in Annapolis, but not before activists on both sides of the issue voice their concerns outside of the State House.
Now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now!
Health professionals protest outside the State House urging lawmakers to ban hydraulic fracturing in Maryland. The technique, commonly known as fracking, extracts gas and oil from shale.
Water has always been worth more than the gas beneath us. We cannot live without it. And hard as it might seem to be, we can live without fossil fuel extraction, and we must begin to do so.
In a Dueling rally, fracking supporters talked about jobs.
It can be safely done. That's what the O'Malley Commission that studied this for 3.5 years concluded. An EPA study recently dealing with water thing also came to those conclusions. This is something that can be managed and be done safely.
The rallies both preceded a hearing by a General Assembly Review Committee on regulations drafted by the Maryland Department of the Environment. Secretary Ben Grumbles discussed the measures which would permit drilling in western Maryland, ones he says would be among the most stringent in the nation.
We are keeping the provisions from the prior administration's proposal. I'd say well over 95% of those provisions we're keeping.
The regulations include fracturing only one well at a time, prohibiting well pads on the watershed of Deep Creek Lake, forbidding radioactive material, and prohibiting underground injection of wastewater. But Delegate Dan Morheim, who is also an emergency room physician, says the measures don't go far enough.
Oklahoma and other places have had, new terrible earthquake problem, and there's nothing that I saw throughout the document that says anything about earthquake factors. And I'm pretty sure you would acknowledge, I hope you acknowledge, that hydraulic fracking in other states has led to a considerable number of earthquakes.
We're very proud of the fact that these regulations prohibit underground injection of wastewaters. The scientific community is very clear that that is the greatest risk for earthquakes.
A temporary fracking moratorium became law in 2015. The measure prohibits fracking until next October. And the Maryland legislature will consider the new fracking regulations during the upcoming General Assembly session. If they pass, they would go into effect next fall. Well, for victims of domestic violence, the holiday season can be a time of heartbreak and pain. Now, the Prince George's County Circuit Court, in partnership with the Family Justice Center, is creating a support program for victims called Stay in Touch. The center's director, Denise McCain, says having a safe and supportive environment is critical for victims to start over.
The SIT program is really like a follow-up support group, if you will, that will be facilitated by trained counselors, but really led by survivors who will have that peer support to be able to come together on a monthly basis, talk about where they are, continue to encourage each other to stay focused, to continue on the path to healing and recovery.
And those in need of help can call the Special Victims Advocate Unit. That number is 301-952-4425. Well, a dedication ceremony is held for a new courtesy transit center in College Park, or Langley Park rather. The commuter hub is expected to serve 12,000 customers each day once it officially opens on Thursday. The location will collect nearby bus stops under one large canopy along New Hampshire Avenue and University Boulevard. Officials say it will allow for the safe pickup and drop off of passengers and connect them with other routes quickly. Well, police are seeking the public's help in searching for a missing girl. 14-year-old Shakira Nelson was last seen in the 9200 block of 4th Street in Lanham. She's 4 feet 9 inches tall and weighs about 120 pounds. She was last seen wearing a Duval High School uniform. Anyone with information is asked to contact Prince George's Police. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Malone.